Okay, Ji. Where were we? What we do is we employ different techniques to make our uh, writing better. It is just an example. It's just like as a human body. If we talk about human body, we have a lot of organs. और ऐसा लगता है कि overall अगर आप देखें कि we don't know which one is the most important one, but every organ is playing its role, or which we even could not see. इसी तरह writing में, speaking में, everything so much interrelated and interconnected कि even if we focus on it consciously, then we will come to know how many things are connected each other and how they could perform. इसी तरह in writing, when we have grammar, when we have vocabulary, though in the first stage we have sounds. Those sounds will be combined together, they will become words. And when we have words with us, they will we could make phrases with them. When we have phrases with them, we make clauses with them. When we have clauses with us, we could make sentences, dependent sentences or independent sentences. So uske liye then we have sentences with us. We try to make it, we try to decorate it, we try to make it more clear and accurate. So for that reason, we could employ a lot of techniques to make it more clear. So parallelism is just one of that technique we could make, which could make it more clear. For section B, we could discuss it like in the second half, and for section D, I'm moving towards paragraphing. Effective techniques of paragraphing. आप लोगों के पास आ गई है paragraphing वाले notes?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I have uploaded it on your MS Teams. Parallelism के भी चीजें मैंने आपको पढ़ाई हैं. Everything is there on MS Teams. Punctuation की भी पहले मैं भेज चुकी हूँ आपको.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you see the screen?
Yes,
ma'am.
Section D is here or not? Section D?
Yes, ma'am, we are here.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So effective report writing techniques. Please read the slide. Now we are going to discuss the technique of making sentences, not parallel structure. We have already done it for section D. Okay, Ji. Section D, your next lecture is free, or you have lecture in the next after 9?
Ma'am, we will have a lab after 9.
Amar, can you take few minutes from the lab?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. सोकर अभी उठे हो ना, इसलिए मेरा मैसेज नहीं देखा रात को.
Ma'am, I will try.
Okay, please try and let me know. You know मैम किसने कहा था? -2 करो जल्दी से. Okay, जी. Now what we are going to discuss is how to design our effective sentences for our technical report or technical document. Kindly read quickly.
Writing effective sentences. How to structuring effective sentences. Good technical communication consists of clear, correct, and graceful sentences that convey information economically. This section describes 7 principles for structuring effective sentences. Sentences are often easier to understand and more emphatic if new information appears at the end. For instance, if your company has labor problems and you want to describe the possible results, structure the sentence like this. Because of labor problems, we anticipate a 3-week delay.
So, what we have to do is good technical communication consists of clear, correct, and graceful sentences that convey information. So for instance, if we have a sentence that if your company has a problem, a labor problem, and you describe the possible result, structure the sentence like this: because of labor problems, we anticipate a 3 weeks delay, rather than we make it more congested or heavily dense. So it's a concise or precise sentence. Okay. Parallelism is also, यहाँ पर मैंने बहुत जस्ट एक आपको एक उसकी इम्पोर्टेंस बताई है कि how it is important in making your sentence more clear. Non-parallel or a sentence might be: our present system is costing us profits and reduce our productivity. Are you all here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So parallel structure, parallel technique is also very important in making your sentence more effective. And these are some examples of those sentences. For instance, if we say our system is costing us profits and reduces our productivity. So parallel one is our system is costing us profits and reducing our productivity. एक ऐसे example दिए जिस parallelism की. Paraphrasing and rephrasing. In order to avoid wordiness in our sentence, these two techniques are very important, which we will be discussing in detail. So these are just examples of paraphrasing or rephrasing. Just for your knowledge, let me clear you one thing. Paraphrasing and rephrasing are used to make your sentences concise or precise. For in that thing, there are certain ways how we could do it. For instance, we avoid unnecessary or repeated words or extra information, which we call redundancy. We avoid that thing. We avoid like prepositional phrases, and the third one is we try to avoid passive sentences, passive voice, because it takes it demands more detail or extra words. So these are few techniques, things, steps which we could take to make our sentences to paraphrase or rephrase our sentence. But this topic we will discuss in more detail afterwards. But we should know about it, how we could rephrase or paraphrase. A brief phrasing में what we could do is we could just we the intention of the writer is to make the things more easier and clear for the audience. तो उसके लिए आप rephrase करते हैं by using lot different techniques. Paraphrase में क्या करते हैं? We take an idea, we take some material from some source and we paraphrase it. And but in that case, we cannot change the meaning. In that case, we have to give reference or we have to give credit to the author. But rephrase where we have not, we do not, we are not bound by this limit. हम वहाँ पे हम अपनी जो भी चीज लिख रहे हैं, we try to make it easier for the audience. That's why we change it by synonym replacement, we by avoid wordiness, we by like avoiding prepositional phrases और जो भी मैंने आपको बताई extra information. आपको दोनों के मतलब की समझ आ गई है ना? अब अपने सेंटेंसेस को आप अगर आप कुछ भी किसी भी चीज का कुछ लिख रहे हैं, फॉर इंस्टेंस इंट्रोडक्शन, like methodology, conclusion. So when you are writing it like it's your creation, so you can rephrase it yourself. But when you are paraphrase, you are trying to change someone other's work, you are paraphrasing that sentence. In that case, you have to give credit or reference to the author or the source. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So अगर हम kindly please read the slide. Amar, read the slide, please.
Okay, ma'am. In my opinion, the problem is revised too. The main problem is there
Yeah.
are
What is
numerous
that? Please, okay.
considerations.
For instance, in my opinion, the problem is this, that we do not have time, or we could not come today. So instead of this thing, in my opinion, is a you could say it's an extra information. We are just bothered, or we want to know about the thing, rather than आपका opinion क्या है, in your thought what do you want to do, या जो भी है. So it's an extra information. तो उसने इसको revise किया. The main problem is this. Next.
There are numerous considerations that will influence your decision. Revised too. Numerous consideration will influence your decision.
Okay. So इसी तरह उसने इसको again he has revised it and make it precise. Next. Move
In
on.
today's business In today's business world, accountants are maintainers of corporate productivity. Revised to accountants today help maintain corporate productivity.
ठीक है. So instead of in today's business world, the accountants are maintainers of this is. So revised sentence is the accountants today help maintain corporate productivity. ठीक है. Cutting 2 or 3 unneeded words per sentence does not create dull writing. Rather, it creates tight, easy to read reports that will be welcomed by the busy readers. ठीक है. इसने यहाँ पर आप हमें बताया है कि इंस्टेड बाय कटिंग बाय omitting by like deleting or the unnecessary information or repeated information, it doesn't mean that it has make your sentence or your information dull or boring or incomplete. It could make it more easy to read, or more you might have a better grip on the information as compared to the previous ones. So paraphrasing, rephrasing, parallelism. So these are all the techniques of making your sentences or making your work more impressive and comprehensible. Just as sentences can be too long, they can be too short and choppy, as in the following sentence. So sentences कई बार बहुत लंबे होते हैं. We always ask our students, or we try to do it ourselves even, to make it precise and informative and correct. Whereas sometimes sentences are too short, जिसको आप कहते हैं they might not make sense alone. So वो भी they are choppy, और आप उसको कई बार इसको कंसाइज करने के चक्कर में कंफ्यूजिंग और इनकरेक्ट कर देते हैं. तो दैट इज आल्सो नॉट राइट. फॉर इंस्टेंस, प्लीज अमर रीड.
Confusing. The speakers will include partners of law firms, business people, and civic leaders. Partners of appears to apply to business people and civic leaders as well as to law firms. This is partners of carries over to the items in the series. The following revision solves the problem by rearranging the items so that partners can apply only to law firms. Clear. The speaker will include business people, civic leader, and partners of law firms.
So this is how we could make it more clear and correct. Now paragraphing. So paragraphing के लिए we should know the techniques of paragraphing. What are the elements which could be included to make our like paragraph more clear. Obviously, phrases, clauses, sentences, so that they if will जैसे हम when we combine words we make phrase and clauses, is that when we combine sentences we make paragraphs. So it's just a sequence which starts from the sounds to the paragraph. So now we should know how to design well connected, coherent, clear, and concise and informative paragraphs. So, structure paragraphs clearly consist of topic sentence and sporting information. The topic sentence, because the topic sentence states, summarizes, or forecasts the main point of the paragraph. Put it up front. Technical communication should be clear and easy to read, not suspenseful. So, what we require to make to have our effective paragraphs, we need to have our topic sentence and supporting sentences. She kindly read it. Um, Junaid, are you here? Junaid is here.
Ma'am.
Junaid is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Kindly read it,
Kindly
please.
read it, please.
एक को repeat क्यों नहीं मेरे पास?
Repeat your ma'am.
जी.
Introductory, body, transitional, and conducting, and each serves a slightly different function in the paper. आवाज आ रही है मैम?
जा रही है मेरी आवाज की repeat हो रही है उज़ैर, please check.
मैम आपकी वॉइस में डिस्टॉर्शन काफी ज्यादा आ रही है।
मेरी उस पे नेट में डिस्टॉर्शन है.
वो आ रही थी।
अब ठीक है?
मैम आई थिंक बेहतर है अब।
आज पता नहीं क्या आपकी मीटिंग में अल्लाह हमेशा कोई ना कुछ इशू हो जाता है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर. काफी देर से पहले नेट में इशू आ रहा था. कैन यू हियर मी नाउ?
यस मैम।
Okay, so there are four kind of paragraphs: introductory, body, transitional, and concluding paragraphs. And each serves as a slightly different function in the paper. जी प्लीज टॉपिक सेंटेंस पहले मैं आपको बता दूं. टॉपिक सेंटेंस is a sentence which contains main information or the subject. So transitional sentence, we could guess it from the words transition. It is used, for instance, to make connections from one information to the another. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था कि in old play there used to be chorus which comes at the end of the scene, and they, for the purpose of that chorus, is kindly mute your audience, all of you please. क्या अब आपको मेरी आवाज में कोई डिस्टॉर्शन तो नहीं आ रही? Is there any distortion in the voice or not?
मैम इट्स क्लियर ऑलमोस्ट।
Okay, so when we used to in the old plays and literature, what they used to do is uh, they please mute your audio. Okay. So वो क्या करते थे? There were people, there was group of people who used to come at the end of the scene, and they like it was it was it could be like shown that this is a transition to the next scene, and they used to tell the previous scene कि it happened and it is going to be happen. So predict करते थे next scene को. So that you could say this is a transition between the two acts. Similarly, we have transitional sentences which are used to make connection between the previous information and the upcoming information. If we do not employ this technique, or do not focus on this situation, these things, so then we might lose connection between the both the informations or the paragraphs. So we have, in topic sentences, we have transitional sentences, and we have linking sentences which link the different informations. So these type of sentences will connect together, combine together to make your paragraph complete or effective. So we have different informations to present. For instance, in our introductory paragraph, we have to introduce the issue. For that purpose, we took different steps to make it more clear. For instance, we could not start straight away from the uh, like uh, from the main subject, we may try to create a scene or setting to present our topic or subject matter. So we sometimes start with the introduct background of the like top of the subject. हम स्टार्ट करते हैं कुछ थोड़ा सा एक सिचुएशन बनाते हैं कि हम किस चीज के लिए बात करना चाह रहे हैं, तो वी क्रिएट अ सेटिंग फॉर दैट पर्पस. So kindly read the introductory paragraph.
Introductory paragraph. In the simplest terms, introductory paragraphs introduce your thesis. Body paragraphs develop it. Transitional paragraphs move your readers from one aspect of it to another. Including paragraphs sum up the development of the thesis and restate it. Thus, while all four types supports the thesis, they support it in different ways.
So we introduce our thesis or topic to in the introductory paragraph. So this is the first step. For that thing, we, as I have already mentioned this thing, in the introductory paragraph, we could not straight away start a topic. We create a scene or a setting by stating the background of the situation. कि उससे पहले क्या हुआ है, or this is the thing which we are going to do is this thing is already a matter of concern, and in this particular thing we are going to discuss this thing, and this will be our main concern. So you are going to be, you may be telling about the purpose, the background, the topic, the purpose of exploring it, its important significance, and what you intend to do in your thesis or your report or any document you want to write. So this is your introductory paragraph. Body sentences. Sentence, sorry. Please read. Body sentence, you may say, is the heart of your paragraph. And the number two, if you are writing a research or report, your body, you can call the discussion part of your research report or any document a body of the written document, and it is most important. In that thing, you discuss everything in detail, and you come to जिसको आप कहते हैं ना उर्दू में मुद्दे पे आ जाते हैं आप, and you are telling us about the thing you want to discuss with explanation and everything. For instance, if you are writing an application, आप एक application design करते हैं, in that application what you do is आप इसको first of all you write few lines after your salutation or your subject and salutation. What you do is what you introduce, you just state your give your information, your introduction of, for instance, your name, your class, और एक आपके स्कूल लेवल और कॉलेज लेवल के एप्लीकेशन की बात हो रही है कि this is the purpose of your writing introduction में. Then you state the problem, that is your body paragraph or body part, when you state the issue, why you are writing this thing, the purpose is this, and you have this concern about this thing, or you have this issue, and you want this thing. And therefore, this is the main part of your letter or your application, body parts, body sentences. So can you please read it?
Body sentences develop the topic of the paragraph. These sentences work to analyze data or quotations, describe a text or event, set up a comparison, showcase evidence, and sometimes they
And
enumerate the logical points of readers to give them a sense of paper's bigger picture. In body sentences, you need to consider how much quoted data or evidence will demonstrate or prove your point.
okay. So here you need to have your supporting material, or your, if you are here, you are going to prove here that the data, the information you have collected and designed, whether how much it is useful or it could support or like defend your argument. So this is a very important thing. If you are successful here to convince the audience or the reader about your topic or your problem or your issue, so then you are successful. Otherwise you will lose your audience. So body paragraph, body sentences will combine together by maybe using different techniques of paraphrasing, rephrasing, parallelism. So you will be like designing effective sentences in your introduction, fulfilling the purpose of introducing the topic. Then your intention is to move forward. Then you will be designing the sentences fulfilling the purpose of explaining your problem, so proving your stance, supporting your idea. So then you will be designing sentences to fulfill this जो भी है this issue, this aim. ठीक है? So now we for body paragraph, please read.
A body paragraph, the basic unit for communicating information, is a group of sentences or sometimes a single sentence that is complete and self sufficient and that can contribute to a larger discussion. In an effective paragraph, all the sentences clearly and directly articulate one main point, either by introducing the point or by providing support for it. In addition, the whole paragraph follows logically from the material that precedes it.
Okay. So we need to know so how we could like make it effective by clearly or directly articulate one main point, or either by introducing the point her paragraph में, even when you are like writing your main issue, you are going for instance you अगर आप discussion का chapter, discussion का part अपनी report में design करते हैं, in that thing even you start with introducing the in order to relate this information with the previous one, you mention the previous thing by introducing by like stating the preceding information. So every chapter will include introduction, body, and then conclusion before proceeding to before moving to the next chapter. फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर आपने इंट्रोडक्शन का चैप्टर में तीनों चीजें कर ली हैं, देन आपने जब आपने डिस्कशन के चैप्टर पे आना है या सेक्शन पे आना है, अगेन यू विल बी इंट्रोड्यूसिंग दिस वाज योर टॉपिक एंड यू हैव डन दिस थिंग, ये आपकी मेथोडोलॉजी थी एंड यू हैव इन्फर्ड दिस रिजल्ट फ्रॉम दैट थिंग, और फिर आपने कंक्लूड करना है कि दिस वाज द रिजल्ट। आपने आपने रिजल्ट अपने अपने कंक्लूजन को पूरी तरह इस तरह नहीं बता देना कि सारी चीजें एक ही चैप्टर में बता देनी है, पर हर चैप्टर में हर सेक्शन में आपने ये 3-4 एस्पेक्ट्स को डिजाइन को इसी तरह इंफॉर्मेशन को डिजाइन करना है अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द सेक्शन. Transitional sentences and paragraphs, please. जी please read.
Transition
Okay,
sentences.
जी.
Should I read? Okay, ma'am. Transition sentences guide your readers smoothly from the topic of the preceding paragraph into the topic of your new paragraph. Writers sometimes begin with a transition sentence before introducing the topic of the new paragraph. A transitional paragraphs help readers move from one major point to another. Like a body paragraph, it can consist of a group of sentences or be a single sentence. Usually, it summarizes the previous point, introduces the next point, and help readers understand how the two are related.
Good. So transitional sentences guide your
मैम
readers. जी.
मैम हमारी लैब है और हमें सर के मैसेजेस आ रहे हैं कि आप क्लास ज्वाइन करें.
बेटा आपको मैंने कहा था 5 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा ले लें.
मैम 3 मिनट तो ऑलरेडी हो चुके हैं.
बस अभी this is the second last slide of the topic. आपने किया है मार्क को फोन उनके कांटेक्ट?
यस मैम, मैंने किया था लेकिन उन्होंने रिप्लाई नहीं दिया अभी.
ओके जस्ट ये लास्ट अच्छा एक स्लाइड रह गई है तो भी यू कैन गो और उनसे रिक्वेस्ट के बता देना कि उसे हमें 5 मिनट चाहिए थे. So transitional sentence help reader to move from one major point to another. For usually जो इसकी most important part discuss कर लेते हैं. It summarizes the previous last sentence and introduces the next point and helps reader to understand how they two are related. So this is a smooth transition from one point to another, and then they will be joined by the linking sentences. So this is the difference between the transitional sentences and linking sentences कि वो बहुत smoothly एक point से दूसरे पे जब transfer होता है तो linking sentence will make it make connections between these two. Then concluding sentences and paragraphs. These sentences may bring a section to its end before you move to a new section of the paper. A concluding paragraph both sums up your main argument and your sub-claims, reminding that reader why you are right. Conclusions are tricky to write, so for a more detailed explanation, check this go. So concluding paragraph is designed to tell that why you are writing this thing, why you have written this thing, and why you are right. You are right. So in this paragraph, you defend your argument and you draw conclusions or judgments based on your research work or your exploration of your work is your data what you methodology or data or results of your work. जैसे आप एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं आप उसको इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं उसका प्रोसीजर लिखते हैं फिर आप उसको डिफेंड करते हैं एंड देन यू रीड सम कंक्लूजन result and in that conclude at the end you will be concluding that result by summarizing your work to make it simpler for the reader. अक्सर आप स्टोरी जब कुछ स्टोरी लिख के पढ़ते हैं आप इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ते हैं और मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आप बीच में से थोड़ा सा पढ़ के आप एंड पढ़ लेते हैं. So is there any question or it is clear the paragraphing technique of paragraphing? Because next on Friday we will be having our quiz. So parallelism, section D, if you will be having any trouble, you can contact me. I can give you 10-15 minutes anytime so that to make your issues more clear. So section D, you can leave. Let me mark your attendance. Just a moment. Amar, आप इनके attendance ले लें, please. Or you can leave the class.
Okay मैम.
Okay.
मैम मैम क्विज इसी फ्राइडे को होगी या नेक्स्ट कमिंग फ्राइडे मतलब नेक्स्ट वीक में?
When will be having our midterms? आपकी कब हो रही शुरू?
मैम अभी 2
7
वीक्स
से
हो
स्टार्ट
रहे
है.
7 December.
Okay, we have 1 week more week left.
यस मैम. तो नेक्स्ट
अच्छा,
वीक कर देते हैं.
thank you very much for your suggestion. But you keep on consulting your reading material because I have updated all the things we have discussed. So I will see क्या करना चाहिए आपके साथ, क्या सलूक किया जाए. ठीक है? So you can leave the class kindly.
मैम अब नेक्स्ट वीक होगा ना
मैम ब्रेक
क्विज?
अब नहीं इनको थकावट हो रही अब ये they will stay here. अच्छा नेक्स्ट वीक कर लेंगे बस. हैप्पी ना?
ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
ओके मैम.
But I don't want any cheating because in the previous semester मैंने बहुत सारे बच्चों का quiz जो copied work था उनको उनके marks delete करके दिए. That's why you might have heard this thing कि they hardly have any A in the class. In one section they have only one A और एक्सेप्ट मैकेनिकल दे हैव एक्सेप्शनल रिजल्ट्स, उनमें कुछ ज़्यादा बच्चों के 4-5 A's हैं। अदरवाइज आपके सेक्शन सिविल में मेरा ख्याल आई हैव गिवन ओनली वन ए, वो भी बच्चे ने काम मुझे एक्स्ट्रा करके दिया है और उसने मुझसे कांटेक्ट किया है, ही वांटेड टू इम्प्रूव हिज ग्रेड, तो आई हैड टाइम, तो आई गिव हिम दैट चांस। नोबडी एल्स कांटेक्टेड, सो किसी का भी ए स्टार नहीं है। So because of that quiz, which they have like not honesty से काम नहीं किया होगा आपने, वो सभी बच्चे कर रहे हैं आजकल, बट आई कुड फाइंड इट आउट। मैं आपको क्विज ही ऐसा दूंगी कि मुझे पता चल जाएगा कि किसने कहाँ चीटिंग की है। ओके जी, सी यू इंशाल्लाह। नाउ सेक्शन बी। Section B, you are here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now you can see the slide, parallel structure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Parallel structure is a very effective technique which we might not even notice because in routine हम लोग इतनी depth में in depth इनका इसका analysis नहीं करते. Parallel structure means using the same pattern of words to show that two or more ideas have same level of importance. This can happen at the word, phrase, or clause level. The usual way to join parallel structure is with the use of coordinating conjunctions, such as and or. So these are parallel structures. It's a technique of using same pattern of word, class of words, or same structure to make your idea and give same importance to the other parts of your sentence or your idea. So what are the things where we have to focus on our parallel, faulty or the correct parallelism? Do not mix form of words or adverbs. For instance, sometimes we do not, we what we do is हम एक ही जगह पे we mix up verbs and adverbs together. Incorrect. For instance, Mary likes hiking, swimming, and ride a bicycle. So here we are like having different types of class of verbs. Rather than saying that, we can like write like this: Mary likes hiking, swimming, and bicycling. Mary likes to hike, to swim, to ride a bicycle. We had short of time. मुझे ऐसा लगा कि we will be having our midterms on starting from 23rd of November. That's why I was I avoid touching the other aspects of grammar. So, do you have any idea about different types of verbs? किसी को पता है about verbs? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, Mubin, what types of verbs do we have? Different functions of verbs? No. So verb, as we all know, verb is a doing word, action word. So the verb is performing different functions in the sentence. The verb that comes after the subject is called finite verb. And that verbs could be changed. That verb could be changed according to the subject. For instance, he goes to school. They they go to school, और इसी तरह से for the verb changes its class according to the like pronoun or the subject. According to the subject, that is called finite verb. For instance, the verb that changes its class according to the time. For instance, she eats an apple, she ate an apple, she will eat an apple. So that here the verb is changing according to the that is showing the time, whether the action was done in the past, it is continuously but it is happening in the present, or it will be estimated or predicted in the future. So the verb when changes its class according to the time, again it's finite verb. There are three identifications of the finite verb. Though मुझे इस time, or because I do not have notes with me, so that's why though मुझे इस time orally इस time याद है. So that is the two identifications of finite verb. A non-finite verb, the verb that comes elsewhere in the sentence after to, that is non-finite verb. क्या हो गया? The verb that comes after the subject is finite verb, which could be changed, जिसकी हम class को could be changed, and the verb that comes elsewhere in the sentence after by using to, that is called non-finite verb. Can anybody tell me what I have told you? Roll number 56. Quickly,
Yes, ma'am.
could you please tell me what is the difference between finite verb or non-finite verb?
सब्जेक्ट के जो बिल्कुल बाद में आता है उस पे वो फाइनाइट होता है और टू के बाद जो आता है वो इनफाइनाइट होता है.
So what is the main difference between these two?
We can change after subject. Mean we can change the finite verb.
We can change the class of the finite verb, whereas
we cannot change the infinite verb.
बिल्कुल, we cannot change. It remains the same. Its class cannot be changed. The main identification of that kind of verb is that it comes after this with it. It is used with to, and it comes elsewhere in the sentence. So these are the two gerunds. Gerunds are those verbs who act as a subject of the sentence by using by using ing. So verb plus ing is a gerund. For instance, smoking is injurious to health. So smoking is a verb with the inclusion of ing. These are it comes in the beginning of the sentence. So you can call them gerunds. Here the smoking is working as a subject of your sentence. For instance, watching too much TV is bad for health. So here, this is gerund and working as a subject of your sentence. So just for your, you can say, information, I'm telling you all these things so you could have an idea about it. To what kind of verbs could we have in our sentences? So I have asked you to check again to update your knowledge according regarding grammar, because at the end of the course मैंने आपकी जितनी भी checking है, it will be based on each and everything. फिर आपने ये नहीं कहना कि मैम ने हमें बताया नहीं था. So basic difference of verbs are the finite verbs comes after a sentence, after the subject. So एक मिनट में आपको दूसरा और बता देती हूँ if there is. अच्छा. So the first difference was, the basic difference was it comes after the subject, finite verb. Number two was it changes its class according to the time. And the third difference is it changes its class according to subject. जो pronoun और जो noun होता है उसके मुताबिक अपनी class को change किया. I have already told you all these three. So why I am telling you these, repeating this thing or revising this thing, because you in your parallelism you need to know all these things. So we talked about this change of class here. Mary likes hiking, swimming, and to ride a bicycle. So rather than writing this uh, finite or non-finite verbs, we could write it like this. Mary likes hiking, swimming, and bicycling. The manager wrote his report quickly, accurately, and in a detailed manner. So that we could write it. The manager wrote his report quickly, accurately, and thoroughly. So here it's adverb which is used. So if we are using adverb in the sentence, we could like continue this formation. If we are using verbs in some other way, we could continue this thing from the beginning till the end. So आप मेरी बात समझ रहे हैं कि we have to follow the same structure to make it clear and better presentation. So next is a parallel structure that begins with clauses must keep using clauses. Sorry. A parallel structure that begins with clauses must keep using clauses. Don't change to another pattern or change the verb's voice from active to passive or vice versa. फॉर इंस्टेंस उसने कहा कि जिस तरह का भी पैटर्न आप क्लॉजेस आप स्टार्ट करें so you should keep on keep moving the following the same pattern. There's no need to like for instance change from active voice to passive voice. um, Incorrect. He was poor student because he waited until the last minute to study, completed his lab reports carelessly, and his motivation was low. So here you have different types of clauses. What we could do is he was a poor student because he waited until the last minute to study, completed his reports carelessly, and lacked motivation. Rather than saying that his motivation was low, he lacked motivation. Take a completed, waited, lacked. So we have followed the same structure. He waited until the last minute, completed his lab, lacked motivation. Is that clear? Bachcho?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just telling you the situations where we could like use different this technique. Um, Here, an article or preposition applying all the members of series. अब इसका usage क्या है? इसका parallelism का in articles also, or preposition applying to all members of series must be either used only before the first term or else be repeated for each term. अच्छा, इसमें एक और एक प्रिंसिपल और रूल है कि आपने अगर आर्टिकल्स यूज करने फॉर वेदर डेफिनेट और इनडेफिनेट आर्टिकल और एनी preposition, either you use it with every series everything you are going to discuss in one sentence, or you can omit it. ठीक है, या आप सबसे पहले एक दफा यूज कर लें, बाकी जो आने वाले प्रोसीडिंग है आप which are going to be followed by the first one, so उसमें आप बेशक you can omit with every rest of the information, or you can use it with everything. For instance, the French, the Italians, Spanish, and Portuguese. So this is a faulty parallelism. Sometimes they can ask you this thing, or they can ask you to make it correct, and you will see there is nothing bad with this sentence. It seems quite correct or informative, but this is a thing you should know. Either you are going to use the article with all the sentences, or you avoid it. For instance, आप ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं the French, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. So here the definite article the is like used for all these countries. The other thing is the French, the Italian, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. Either you use with all the upcoming information things you want to discuss, or you only use once in the beginning of the sentence. Is that clear? एक
Yes,
और
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
ओके, यहाँ पे हम preposition की बात कर एग्जांपल देख रहे हैं, इन स्प्रिंग समर और इन विंटर। दिस इज अ रॉन्ग थिंग। इधर आप लिखते इन स्प्रिंग समर और विंटर, और आप यू कैन राइट इन स्प्रिंग इन समर और इन विंटर। तो अब बेचारे समर का क्या कसूर है कि इसमें आपने सिर्फ इन नहीं डालना, आपने स्प्रिंग और विंटर में डालना है। So either you could write it like this, or you could write it like this, in spring, summer, or winter. Now, where you could use, make your sentence clear in correlative expressions, both and, not but, only but also. यहाँ पे conjunctions की भी बात नहीं की हमने। So conjunctions में we could use parallelism by using conjunctions और correlative expressions की पहले बात लेते हैं। Can you please read this one, correlative expressions?
Both, yes, ma'am. Correlative expressions, both and, not but,
Not only,
not only but also, either or, first, second, third, etc. should be followed by the same grammatical construction or by rearranging the sentence.
faulty one is it was both a long ceremony and very tedious. So the right construction of the sentence is the ceremony was both long and tedious. A time wait for words, but not wait for words, but action. अब यहाँ पर क्या किया हमने, correlative conjunction भी use की, but what we did is a time not for words but action, a time for not a time not for words but for action. So we give more equal importance to both the things, words and action. So otherwise अगर हम ऐसे करते हैं, so we might not able to justify both the things equally. So either you must grant his request or incur his will. You must either grant is, अगर आप either से sentence शुरू कर देते हैं ना वैसे भी, so it looks incomplete, or it sounds like that you have started your sentence, taken your sentence from somewhere from the middle of the information. So you must either grant his request or incur his will. So इसकी correlative conjunctions की एक identification एक है जो you could keep in your mind, that you could it precedes, it comes before the verb. You could not only do this thing but also do that thing. So here you could see not or but also comes before the verb. So that is an important identification. Here we could see in our slides other types of conjunctions. देखिए, can you see the slide? Correlative
Yes,
से
ma'am.
पहले there is coordinating conjunctions. When you connect two or more clauses or phrases with the coordinating conjunction, that you could say fans boy, this is the you can say is a combination or abbreviation of the conjunction. F stands for, A stands for and,
And
N stands for not, B stands for but, O stands for only, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. So this is, you can say, fanboys. Fanboys. These are all called coordinating conjunctions. For instance, my best friend took me dancing and to a show. So my best friend took me to a dance and a show. So there you can like employ coordinate conjunction in a better way. So coordinating conjunctions are used in these three, performing these four functions in the series of words, series of infinitives, series of prepositional phrases, and series of clauses. So when we have to combine all these functions, or we have information, we use coordinating conjunctions in a more appropriate way. She wanted three things: money, power, and security. It is the function of coordinating conjunction here is to determine the series of words, और जैसे आप comma के usage में भी देखते हैं, series of infinitives. There was no opportunity to do my taxes, to request an extension, or to explain my situation. So here series of infinitive के लिए हमने ये infinitive से मैंने आपको बताया है ना, that the verb that comes after to or elsewhere in the sentence, that are called infinitives or non-finite verbs. So here we have used coordinating conjunctions to like mention the series of infinitives or verbs, series of prepositional words. So in the first function, we are like mentioning noun phrases. In the second function, we are mentioning verbs. And the third function, we are mentioning prepositional phrases. For instance, he found cleaning supplies in the closet under the sink, but not in the garage. So here, but not is like fulfilling or like combining the different information, prepositional phrases in a sentence. Series of clauses. The company does not care about who you are, how you get there, or why you have come. So here the coordinating conjunctions are like fulfilling the purpose of like combining or mentioning different clauses in one sentences. Is that clear? These are the four functions which could be fulfilled by coordinating conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions we have already discussed. When you connect two clauses or phrases with correlated conjunctions, not only this, we use parallel structure, and the more likely we use correlative conjunctions are used before your verb, action word. So the verb precedes the correlative conjunction. For instance, my dog not only likes to play fetch, but also chase cars. So my dog not only likes to play fetch, but he also likes to chase cars. Or my dog likes not only to play, but also to chase cars. So both the parallel constructions, it comes before your uh, comparative conjunctions. When you see comparisons, words or phrases, comparison words or phrases such as more than, less than, although, rather than, check to make sure that things being compared are grammatically parallel. For instance, the professor published more papers last year than were published by all his colleagues combined. The professor published more papers last year than all his colleagues combined. So you can use comparative conjunctions or parallel words or phrases to make your structure more parallel. I would rather pay for my education than financial aid. So you can say either in the first sentence the more importance is paid to the paying for education rather than the financial thing. So in order to give both the aspects equal importance, it could be said I would rather pay for my education than received and receive financial aid. So the summary of your different functions of your parallelism is identifying and implementing the parallel structure, list infinitives, the verbs ending with ing, coordinating conjunctions, multiple clauses in a paragraph, or comparative conjunctions, correlative conjunctions. So these are the five, six, seven things in which we use parallel structure by either by following the same structure. If you are using present tense, keep following the present tense till the end of your sentence. If you want to change it, you should. It's better to start a new sentence. If you're talking about your past or something about past, to keep following that thing in throughout the sentence. If you are like following ing form, keep following till the end. If you are using infinitive like to, I like to eat this thing, to eat to eat biryani, or I want like to eat this thing. So keep following infinitives. Okay. And if you're following infinite verb, keep following that thing. So this is a technique of using same structure, same phrase, the kind of phrases or grammatical aspects to make it more give equal importance to every aspect. Is that clear till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there is one more thing. जैसे अभी ये बात I have already told you. If you are writing in the present tense, don't shift verb into the past tense unless you have a good reason to do so. It took me to the hospital and I'm waiting to see a doctor when my best friend is wheeled on a stretcher. So here he has used different tenses. The correct construction is they took me to the hospital and I was waiting to see a doctor when my best friend was wheeled on a stretcher. So here he has followed the same structure. He tried not to like even though he was talking about past tense, continuous tense. He was waiting, but everything was happened already happened. So in the first sentence, he has used past, present continuous, and this. So this is not the right construction. You cannot shift on different tenses in one sentence. If you use we, I, or one, remain consistently within the same pronoun case. For instance, one should be careful when you write. So here you have used two pronouns, one and you. Better one is you could be careful whenever you write. So same class of the pronoun. If you use third person plural, don't shift to the second person you. For instance, people enjoy themselves at UCLA basketball games. You don't have to be an expert in this thing, or most commonly use this thing. We use this expression very often. Okay, you should not be an expert of this thing. You only require this thing. This is the right construction. But if you say people are doing this thing, you should not be requiring this thing like this. So rather than people enjoy themselves at UCL basketball, it isn't necessary to be an expert in this thing. So pronoun के हिसाब से आप अपनी change different pronouns एक sentence में मत use करें in order to confuse avoid your like prevent your reader to get confused. If you use the active voice, do not shift to the passive voice. For instance, my sister arts, enjoy art, but music is preferred by my brother. My sister enjoy arts, but my brother prefers music. So आपने पहले sentence में active और passive दोनों use किए हैं. In the correct sentence, you have used only active sentence voice. Is that clear? So आपने shifts में भी देखना है कि you cannot shift from the past to the present or the future, remain to one. You cannot change your pronoun from you to one to you, or something else, or you cannot change from third person singular to the second person singular, and you cannot change. You should avoid all these things. You should avoid active to the passive or passive to the active in one sentence. Though tenses are passive, though voices should be avoided in one sentence. It could be used according to the requirement of the sentence, but in new sentence. Is that clear? And one more thing, we use parallel structure when we proofread our work. उसमें हम क्या करते हैं, we edit our work by omitting or repeated information. We we make it more clear, so we change the tenses and and try to be following the same pattern or sequence. So that is very important when you proofread your work. अब उसको क्लियर करने के लिए, इसको एक्यूरेट करने के लिए आप you use this technique when you proofread. कई दफा आपके बहुत से repeated और जैसे long phrases होते हैं, तो you can make it more better. एक और इसमें शायद हमारी इसमें हो ये I can yeah. Using parallelism to remove repetition. Repetitive words can often be removed from sentences if their removal does not detract from your clarity. For instance, Alan picked up his computer, Alan picked up his books, Alan picked up his phone. So parallel structure or concise structure demands Alan picked up his computer, books, and phone. So in order to write three different sentences to show this information, we could make it mention this thing in one sentence. So we use parallelism for clarity. For instance, Sandra is interested in Canadian art and poetry. In this example, we are not sure if Sandra is interested in Canadian poetry specifically or poetry in general. उसने कहा Sandra is interested in Canadian art and poetry. Here, writer has mentioned or make it clear that Sandra is interested in Canadian art, but he is not sure whether Sandra is clear about is interested in Canadian poetry or not. समझ आ गई आपकी? To ensure your meaning is clear, repeat Canadian in retain parallelism. For instance, Sandra is interested in Canadian art and Canadian poetry. समझ आ गई आपको बात की? Now, what you do is, अब for instance, अगर मैं आपको एक activity अगले इस week में देने वाली हूँ, designing the instructions or designing your letters or everything, we are moving towards that aspect. So for that thing, you have to make your document clear, your instructions clear. If you are telling about the procedure of assembling some product, so in order to make it clear, you have to follow the same structure and you give importance to each and every step. ये ना हो कि आप आने वाली एंड की इंफॉर्मेशन को पहले बता रहे हैं, एंड बाय यूजिंग डिफरेंट टेंसेस or by using different class of aspects of grammar or structure or जो भी आपका है. So you have to be very careful about it. Is there any question regarding this thing?
Ma'am, we learned that if we are writing in present, then we have to be continued with present. So, ma'am, that should be in that particular sentence or throughout the document.
ट्रांजिशन शुड बी स्मूथ. ऐसे नहीं है कि अभी आप प्रेजेंट किसी सिचुएशन की बात कर रहे हैं, बट यू हैव योर एक या दो सेंटेंसेस में अगर इफ यू इट्स बेटर दैट यू फॉलो द सेम स्ट्रक्चर, बट फॉर श्योर in one sentence you cannot transfer to the past or future. If you want to switch, you can start a new sentence or new paragraph. अगर आप एक पैराग्राफ में बता रहे हैं कि that this is मोहम्मद जो भी आपका नाम है, आई एम फ्रॉम दिस सेक्शन फ्रॉम दिस थिंग, एंड तो आप 2-3 लाइनें लिख रहे हैं इंट्रोडक्शन की बाय मेंशनिंग योरसेल्फ in the present form. But when you are transition is from present to past tense, so there might be some few sentences needed to like explain transition from the previous message to the upcoming one. For instance, agar aap isi introduction se, when you move to the body of your letter, okay, I have been suffering from fever, or I had this issue. अगर आप प्रेजेंट में रहना चाहते हैं, that's great. If you want I have been suffering, it means that you are still in this problem. If you are talking about some previous thing, so it's better that you take some sentences to like transit from one message to another, but it is not hard. There is no hard and fast rule. In the next sentence you can move to the like next you can follow the next like tense. So this is my problem, and I will not be able to attend the class. So आप उसको transit कर सकते हैं in the next sentence, but not in the same sentence. These are all the things which we should prefer. Understood? ये बहुत सारी most of the time we do not even focus, हम इसको इसी तरह लिख देते हैं. But when it comes to a perfect or accuracy, we have to follow all these mechanics. Is that clear?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
should I repeat?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
If your reader has a time, if your reader is like you can like explain each and everything. But if your reader is or you can like write long sentences, but your reader is a technical reader, we sometimes क्या होता है कि by avoiding a lot of techniques of writing, हम अपने reader को थोड़ा सा confuse कर देते हैं, और we like sometimes consciously want him to focus on only one information in a sentence or one part of the list series of the things which we are going to mention. But if we want to create balance, actually parallelism is about balancing your sentences or your information. कि आप हर किसी को एक बैलेंस उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहे हैं. That is why you are employing this thing, and it is a very beautiful technique. If you will be practicing in few like for once or twice or thrice, आप automatically आपके it will become a part of your practice. अभी आपको पढ़ाने में I have started using this thing consciously, and whenever I design your notes or I design some document, I try to employ this technique of writing in my documents. So और जब कभी inshallah you will be like sitting in some competitive exams, there might be some faulty sentences, or वो apparently you will say कि it is perfectly designed, why should I change them? तो वहां पर आपको पता चलेगा कि if you know about this technique or any of these techniques, you could like gauge, you could measure this is the issue which is having this which this thing contains. So what you are going to do is you are going to design. मैंने आपको activity आपको पहले ही task upload कर दिया है. In that task you are going to design a paragraph. आपने किया था for article?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have uploaded the paragraph, your task? Acha.
No, ma'am.
By Friday, you are going to design like parallel sentences using different like performing different functions or in different like जो उसकी situations है, उनमें आपने parallel structure कैसे use करना है, 2 sentences for each situation, or then you can upload it after Friday. That assignment portal will be closed. ठीक है, उसके बाद आप उसको upload नहीं कर सकेंगे parallel structure की assignment को. Clear?
Ma'am, article and parallelism both.
ये दोनों को आपने एक ही उसमें असाइनमेंट में मैंने आपको लिख के भेजा है कि आप उसी में कर दीजिए, बिकॉज अगर आप अलग अलग भेजेंगे ना तो आई कुड लूज देम और मुझे कंफ्यूजन होगी कि अलग अलग इतनी ज्यादा असाइनमेंट्स हो जाएंगी।
मैम वो एक ही को जो लास्ट हमने डॉक्यूमेंट बनाया हुआ उसी में ही अगर एडिट करके भेज दें, मतलब कि वो फुल एक कंप्लीट बन जाएगा एंड तक।
ये बिल्कुल ठीक है, आप ऐसे ही कीजिए कि आपने जो आर्टिकल का बनाया है ना उसी में आप पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर को ऐड करके आप उसमें उसको लाइक अपलोड कर दें। सो
नहीं
मैम
मैम, वो जो
आर्टिकल नहीं, वो लास्ट मतलब जो एक हमने दी थी उससे पिछले जो टोटल शुरू से जो चली आ रही हैं उनके साथ ही अगर ऐड करते जाएं आगे आगे।
उसमें तो बैड नहीं हो सकती। अब तो मैंने आपके लिए नई असाइनमेंट डिजाइन किया है ना, आपका ख्याल है कि उसी में ऐड करके एक ही में सब कर दें? इट डजंट, आप ऐसा करेंगे सब, आप ऐसा करेंगे बिकॉज यहाँ पर ये वाला मुझे लगता है ऑलमोस्ट खत्म होने वाला हमारा टॉपिक, आप उसी में ऐड करके आप इस नए वाली असाइनमेंट में डाल दीजिए, ठीक है? इज दिस मोर इजियर फॉर यू? आपके लिए आसान रहेगा?
मैम एक्चुअली
वो इस तरह होगा ना फिर एंड पे सारे असाइनमेंट एक ही जगह पे होंगी ना तो तरतीब के साथ हमें पता होगा, अगर कहीं दोबारा आप मांगती हैं तो वो चलो दे सकते हैं दोबारा हम।
ठीक है, आप ऐसा कर दीजिए, आप प्लीज ये कर लें। अच्छा, फिर उसके बाद वी विल बी लाइक having our next task for assignment on Friday, और अब आप लोगों के पास सारे notes हैं और you can even like if you want to know things in detail make, because I just choose the main points or the highlighted points on my slides. You can like if you want to have detail you can consult some book, I'll refer you a book, so आप उसको पढ़ के उसमें से details ले सकते हैं, or you can search for these topics to have a better or clear idea or have to make your vision more like vast or clear.
मैम फ्राइडे नाइट तक हम कर सकते हैं। वो असाइनमेंट जो फोल्डर में है वो कल तक बता रही है डेट।
अच्छा, कल तक ही है, बिकॉज हाँ आपके वेडनेसडे को क्लास थी तो इसलिए मैंने कल तक ही रखी होगी। सो आई चेंज द डेट, डोंट वरी, टिल फ्राइडे। मगर आप कल तक भी कर सकते हैं, कोई इतना बड़ा काम नहीं है वैसे। सो गेट रेडी फॉर योर क्विज नेक्स्ट।
वीकेंड पे बंदा
वीकेंड पे बंदा क्या? आपका तो
आसानी से
एवरी
मतलब
योर एवरी डे इज योर वीकेंड, हाँ?
यस
मैम
मैम।
बहुत क्लासेस होती हैं, बहुत बंदे ने पहले पढ़ाई कर हमारे ऊपर।
Acha, don't worry. So, but I'll give you time till Friday. Is that clear? So we have done paragraphing, we have done parallelism. So parallelism, paraphrasing, rephrasing, and paragraphing. These are all the techniques to make your piece of writing clear and accurate and more connected and readable for your audience. So this is the technique which is like you use in the process of writing when you actually give due weightage with due क्या कहना चाहिए importance to your work, और जब आपको डिजाइन आपके पास information होती है then you give actual or the final shape to your document, you employ all those things। अब आप अपना document जब भी आप एक बात याद रखें, आप जब whenever you read your written work again and again you will be like finding a lot of mistakes। It never happens कि आप कहेंगे it's perfect now, it's flawless now, कोई उसमें कोई problem नहीं है। तो ऐसा बहुत rare होता है, in rare cases it happens when you have done all those when you have like employed all the mechanics, all the ingredients of your writing, like as you like when you eat your food, koi masala, namak, spice, when you find it there is something needed in this food, इसी तरह your writing needs all the ingredients or spices of your of this technique. So you can call them जो भी चीज हम डिस्कस की, the spices, the ingredients of your writing. Clear? So next topic will be of your paraphrasing or rephrasing, and then we will be designing a task in your class. So keep your laptops ready in your class. So the task जो भी हम करेंगे, you will upload that task right there. Don't say at that time कि मैम हमारे पास लैपटॉप नहीं है, हमारे पास वर्ड नहीं है, हमारे पास ये नहीं है. You should have word with you in the next class. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. मैम क्विज के
फ्राइडे
बारे
वाली
में
क्लास में
No, not Friday. We will be having our quiz in the next week. So, Uzair, please mark the attendance.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
can anyone give me a quickly, like repeat the lecture which we have discussed? Girls, please wake up. Mar, आप तब तक इनकी attendance mark कर लें, please. जी girls, कोई भी नहीं? Boys,
Yes, ma'am.
please can you tell me what we have discussed in both the topics?
मैम paraphrasing और parallel and non-parallel sentences किए हैं हमने और finite and infinite verbs.
Okay, I can't hear you. Abdul Hasib, can you tell me about paragraphing? What kind of sentences and paragraphs do we have?
We discussed about paragraphing and then its type. Paragraphing we mainly do cutting two or three unneeded words per sentence. Then its parts includes introductory, body, conditional, and conclusion.
Okay. In paragraphing, we have what kind of sentences do we have in a paragraph?
Ma'am, introductory, body, transitional, and concluding.
Very good. These are the sentences and paragraphs we have, but there are different types of sentences which are need in this introductory or body or concluding paragraphs or sentences. इसकी और एक narrow form मैंने आपको बताई थी. Sentences, topic sentences, transition sentences. Every sentence, every part of the written document, we need to have like the topic and the transition information. एक तो टॉपिक होता है, इसमें आपने मुद्दे की बात करनी होती है और उसमें आपका सब्जेक्ट जो आपका जो पर्पस होता है वो you state that. Or transitional sentences which move obviously from one transition from one sentence to another or one information to another. So, Hassan, is everything clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम, काफी हसन है, 4 हसन है, कौन से वाला?
अच्छा, you we have 4 Hassan in the class. मुझे तो एक पहले नजर आया, हमने उसको ही कह दिया. So, Laiba, are you here? Manahil and Laiba.
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, could you please tell me about parallelism?
Yes,
What is the purpose of parallelism? What is the purpose of parallelism, Laiba? Manahil, Laiba है इधर? Manahil, could you please tell me?
मैम सेंटेंस की वो फॉर्मेशन जो होती है वो मतलब इक्वल होती है। मैम समझाना नहीं आ रहा।
बताना नहीं आ रहा Manahil?
यस मैम।
आएगा बताना अगर आप if you keep on sharing things, so खुद ही बताना भी आ जाएगा। Qamar Habib,
Yes, ma'am.
could you tell me about parallel structure?
Ma'am, parallel structure is used to balance a sentence and to give equal weightage to each part of a sentence.
Very good. Well done. So, Hubeba, Qamar Habib,
Yes, ma'am.
Qamar, अभी आपने बताया था?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Zunaira, Zunaira, are you here?
Yes ma'am.
Could you tell me about the different situation in which we could use parallel structure? Zunaira? And what about this Pari? Hamama Pari at Pari Putni kya hai ye? Who is
Yes,
she?
ma'am.
What is your name, beta?
मैम हमामा अली।
हमामा आपके नाम का मतलब क्या है?
मैम साइन ऑफ पीस, अमन की अलामत।
अच्छा, आप तो बहुत ही अमन पसंद है, माशाल्लाह आप बोलती हैं। Could you tell me different situations in parallel structure?
मैम दोबारा पूछिएगा।
Different situations और different
मैम हम
functions you
पैरेलल
can say.
स्ट्रक्चर यूज करते हैं मतलब जब हम एक सेंटेंस क्लॉज से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो फिर हमने वो सारी क्लॉजेज ही यूज करनी है, या जब हम फैन बॉयज वाली कंजंक्शंस यूज करते हैं वहाँ पर हम पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर को फॉलो करते हैं, और अगर हम जेरेंट से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं तो फिर जेरेंट्स यूज होंगे।
Okay. Or gerunds could be like the subject of the sentence. तो उसमें you cannot use gerund and or हाँ ये कि you can use in the
नहीं
beginning
मतलब
not.
आईएनजी वाला अगर हम यूज कर रहे हैं
हाँ,
तो फिर आगे
okay.
उस तरह से स्ट्रक्चर चलेगा।
Same class of verb. ठीक है,
यस
good.
मैम।
Or what about the other conjunctions or other places where we could use this parallel structure?
मैम जहाँ पे हम फैन
Okay.
बॉयज यूज करते हैं मतलब फॉर
Yes.
एंड नॉट एंड बट ऑल्सो, इस तरह उनके साथ भी हम पैरेलल स्ट्रक्चर में चलते हैं।
वेरी गुड। प्रोनाउंस के साथ हम चेंज नहीं, हम उसको पैरेलल रखते हैं, हम वर्ब्स को पैरेलल रखते हैं, हम नाउन्स को पैरेलल रखते हैं, देन कंजंक्शंस को, एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ अदर सिचुएशंस to which we use to create balance. Proofreading में we like employ parallel structure and make things more clear. So that's all from my side. Inshallah, see you on Friday, all of you. Okay, Allah Hafiz.
थोड़ा सा what quiz will be all about?
Quiz will be about the things we have discussed in the class. Secondly, you will be like having MCQs, short answer questions, or filling the blanks. So it will be like knowledge based quiz. जो भी हमने पढ़ा है उसके लिए जो हमने पढ़ा है, there might be a lot of other things available on net. तो अगर आप उसमें कॉपी करने की कोशिश करें, you might get confused. हमने वही चीजें क्विज में पूछनी है जो क्लास में डिस्कस हुई हैं, not right, not left. ठीक है, सो ये 3-4 चीजें होंगी आपके क्विज में। ओके,
बट मैम असाइनमेंट्स में हम कर सकते हैं मतलब कि एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन ऐड?
असाइनमेंट्स में आप कर सकते हैं बट नॉट इन योर क्विज उसमें, बिकॉज बहुत स्पेसिफिक और जो मैंने टू द पॉइंट आपसे जो बातें हमने डिस्कस की हैं मैंने सिर्फ उतना ही पूछना। फॉर इंस्टेंस आई गिव यू फॉल्टी पैरेललिज्म, आई आस्क, और किसी सिचुएशन की, और आई आस्क यू टू मेक इट पैरेलल, तो बस इस तरह की भी सिचुएशन हो सकती है। तो देयर इज नो नीड टू वेस्ट योर टाइम बाय सर्चिंग थिंग्स ऑन फ्रॉम द इंटरनेट और समथिंग जो आपको अवेलेबल चीटिंग के सोर्सेज। किसी वक्त भी तो बच्चे हैं, वी हैव आल्सो पास दिस स्टेज, हम भी करते रहे हैं, तो बट वो उसमें आपका टाइम वेस्ट होगा क्विज में, बिकॉज टाइम विल बी लाइक कुड नॉट बी चेंज। वो आपका स्पेसिफिक 10-15 मिनट 20 मिनट का क्विज जो है ना उसके दरम्यान में मैंने आपको बंद कर देना है। ओके, इंशाल्लाह वी विल
Okay,
डिस्कस
ma'am.
क्विज ऑन फ्राइडे आल्सो। अल्लाह हाफिज।
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.